Actually, returning guest David Baker, now a CIO. But I knew you when you were I knew you when you were a consultant, right?
Yes.
So you went consultant, director, VP, and then when you left St. Joe's, you became a CIO.
CIO, SVP and CIO.
That's like living the dream. I mean,
It
what do
is.
you attribute that to?
Great, solid mentors who scrutinized every molecule of my work.
I was a little tough on you, but I'll tell you, I've told this story a couple times. The thing that impressed me, you're a consultant. I get named CIO. You're a consultant, and you're like trying to get on my calendar. I mean, you're like feisty to get on my calendar. You come into my office and you're like, "What's the biggest problem you have?" I guess the fact that I think the actual problem was the clinicians hated IT, right? And at a certain point, that's unsustainable. You can't do that. I'm like, well, the clinicians hate IT. You're like, I can solve that problem. And you started on that path, and it started with Easy Pass. Then it went to 20 back or 60 back.
Yeah, 60
back. I mean, you just did all sorts of things around the experience, around the internal user's experience with IT, and took us from a very low ranking to a very high ranking with
making IT personal.
Yeah. And when people ask me, how did David get from here to there? I say, anybody who walks into your office and says, "Give me your hardest problem, I'll figure out a way to solve it," that person's going to get your attention, especially if they start solving the problem. And so I always, I use that story to tell people, take a risk, figure out what the hardest problem is, and see if you can solve it.
No, I appreciate that.